Hey guys, guess where we are today? We're over here at America Catastrophes, and I have Zack Meadows, owner.
Yeah, one of the owners.
Zack, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
You're welcome.
He just figured out it was live, so
yeah,
don't mess it up,
crazy.
Okay?
Well, don't ask me hard questions.
Don't mess it up. May wrote these, so don't hold me responsible. So let our viewers know a little bit about what you guys do here.
Well, basically, we're a catastrophe IA firm. We cater to the insurance companies. I say catastrophe, we're catastrophe and deli. And we cater to, we kind of small, mid-range companies is kind of who we target all over the United States. We do have some large contracts, actually, on some bigger firms. I don't want to mention names on the air, but yeah, so that's kind of what we do. We cater to them. They call us, with a claim, and, or several claims, and we handle.
You guys are busy this time of year, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a busy summer.
Yeah.
Busy summer, going into the fall, hurricanes. You guys always watch those hurricanes, making sure that that's a busy time.
It's usually
of year.
on right over your head.
I'm really shocked the TVs aren't on.
Yeah, well, you're too early.
I know. All right, so we're going to do Fast Five, and then I'll let you talk a little bit about how the viewers can get in touch with you if they need your services.
Okay, sure.
All right, awesome. Okay, question number 5. In what circumstance would Mid-America Catastrophe be called, and who would be calling you?
Well, if, like I just said, we handle a lot of daily claims all over the United States. So, it doesn't matter whether it's a pipe leak or a weather-related, event, maybe a, isolated hailstorm in Wyoming. Actually, that just happened the other day. And we might just call in, maybe 2 or 3, adjusters or whatever to handle that.
Sure.
We might have that random plumbing loss in Minnesota,
right.
Or whatever for one of our carriers. And I mean, we have adjusters, strategically placed all over the United States. Just depending on what state it's in is how heavy, that we are in that state. As far as ramping up with adjusters, this, that, and the other. So we have, we have a nice database built of adjusters all over the place, and that's how we handle it. If it's a catastrophe, the insurance company, you ask that, who's calling, it's usually, in that situation, it's usually the CAT director. He's calling saying, okay, you guys ready? Because we make commitments. Excuse me. We make commitments of, how many people, we can supply if something happens.
Sure.
That's kind of how it works. So, and we also do inside adjusting. So, we have to get, all right, we need this many for inside. We think this is what they're saying to us. We need this many outside. So then we put those people on standby and get ready.
Okay.
So it's a company calling us saying, okay, ramp up. This is what it's looking like Hurricane Hermine or whatever it was.
Sure.
I mean, exactly. Good
You
example.
have a lot of adjusters down there right now, like in Florida.
Not as many, because when it was coming into Florida in the in the lower half, sure, yeah, we were ramped up. I mean, they called us. Everybody's panicking at that point because they don't know. It's aiming straight for it. They don't know what it's going to do. And then all of a sudden it jumps out in the Gulf. They still don't know what it's going to do. And, and then it loops back and they're thinking Tampa, which is, we have a lot of
up the East Coast.
Right, and we have a lot of heavy PIF in that area.
Right.
Policies in force. So so all of a sudden we're ramping up even heavier, and all of a sudden it starts taking a westerly turn and goes up through the Big Bend area, which it's just animals.
Yes.
So there's not as much populations.
Yes.
But then it goes up through there, goes over into the Atlantic, and then we're, back in target zone again because we have a huge PIF going up the coast, especially up in New Jersey in that area. So we're, there again, we're ramping up again. So
that's awesome.
So that's kind of how it works.
I love it. Okay, question number 2. What is the biggest catastrophe that Mid-America Catastrophe has assessed since you began operations in 1980?
Oh. Well, in 1980, that's before we owned it.
Exactly.
We purchased it 4 years ago from Ron Deason out of Iowa. He owned it back in the 80s and all the way up. So I'd say the biggest catastrophe, probably for him, I don't want to speak for him, but I'm sure that it was Katrina.
Sure.
For him. Now for us, so far in the past 4 years since the catastrophes have been light, I would say Texas this year. I mean, the hailstorms were probably the worst since 1995, and we had adjusters, scattered from Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, all over. So that was our biggest event since we've had it in 4 years.
Awesome.
But for Ron, I'm sure it was Katrina.
It's a long time since 1980. Mid-America being around.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, question number 3. The type of work that you do requires traveling. What is the friendliest city that you've traveled to?
Come on, I live in my business, so I mean,
Is
really?
it the friendliest?
You know, actually,
Everybody's pretty friendly there.
they are. I mean, you know, I've actually all over has been crazy, but I hadn't ran into really a bad spot.
Sure.
Now, if you ask me where I'd rather be if I'm going to go on an event, obviously it'd be somewhere like Colorado or somewhere out west, just because I'm that type guy.
Sure.
I like that area, and they're super nice people too.
Yeah.
But I hadn't ran in, even up in New York during Sandy. I mean, everybody was, honestly, I was
Really
on Long
friendly.
Island.
I
They
agree
were
with you.
really,
Everybody's great up there.
friendly. I mean, they were really great. You know, when we're seeing them, they're in time of need.
Sure.
You know, when we're there to help.
So they're
You know,
open and
Right. So we don't get to see the everyday, you know, personalities or whatever. I mean, it's just, you know, somebody helping somebody else. you know,
Exactly.
so.
All right. Question number 4. When you travel, what restaurant, hotel, coffee shop, etc. do you always look for that reminds you of home?
That's funny because people make fun of me about the coffee because I love Starbucks coffee.
Me too.
So when I travel, you know, I pretty much, honestly, between Texas and back to Florida, I can tell you
Every exit.
the exits that have the
always
Starbucks, you know.
That's
and
funny.
so it's, and that's a true story. I mean, it's crazy, but I always look for that.
You know what's so bad is that all the Starbucks in Mobile, I can walk in any one of them and they're like, they know my order, they know exactly
yeah.
what I want. That's how much I frequent Starbucks.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I get it. All right, question number 5. You have a forensic accountant on your staff. This is a very specialized service that you offer. Can you give us an idea of what this kind of work involves?
Yeah. Actually, Ram Turner, he handles that for us. And basically what that is, we have a few large commercial accounts. One being with Lloyd, I will mention, is Lloyd's of London. And whenever you get to business interruption and such as that, I mean, some of these losses can get really complicated where just a regular person without that knowledge, you can't put them on it. You know what I mean? Because you have to have somebody like, you know, Randall. I mean, Randall's you know, he's CPA all his life, had his own firm, you know, has his master's, and this is what he specializes in now, is this forensic accounting. And all it is just the complicated of the complicated. You know, and so it takes somebody like him, you know, to figure that stuff out. You just don't want to put that in anybody's hands. And the carrier don't want to put that in just anybody's hands. So that's what we utilize.
You guys have an awesome staff here. Zach, tell our viewers how they can get in touch with you.
Well, there's a couple of ways. You can, 888-297-3092 is our 800 number. You can go to midamcat.com.
Brand new website.
Yep, yeah, actually it is, revamped. You can go in there. If you're an adjuster, you can sure go in there and log in and put your information in. If you're a customer, all our information is on there. You can go to info@midamcat.com. And that's pretty much how it's not
And
hard
they
to find us.
are on social media, so check them out.
Yeah, we're on, thanks to Cindy, we're on social media, Facebook,
Twitter,
LinkedIn, Twitter,
Pinterest, Instagram, everything.
Instagram, yeah, sure.
Everything.
Yeah.
So go in there and follow them, and I'll make sure to put their information on our page as well. Zach, it was a pleasure
Yeah.
seeing you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.